Ryan LaPedis, voice of the Mustangs, here with head coach Matt Goodheart. Matt, thanks for sitting down with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So first question, tell the fans a little bit about yourself, your background inside and outside of baseball and how you got here to Martinsville.
Yeah, well, I'll start with the last one first. The reason I'm here in Martinsville is, long story short, I ended up playing here in Martinsville here in 2020 during the COVID year. There weren't a lot of leagues going on. So through a mutual friend, Brandon Nanias, I ended up playing here with a couple of other my teammates from the University of Arkansas, and I lived with the Davis family, and we hit it off. We had it had an amazing summer and a great connection, and I'd like to think that had a lot to do with why I'm back. My background, I played high school, college, and professional baseball. I went to the University of Arkansas, went to a junior college for a year known as San Jack my freshman year. Had a tremendous experience at all these places. Signed a free agent deal with the Phillies, wasn't there very long, played 2 years of independent professional baseball, and then decided to go into coaching. And as it turns out, I think that might be more of my calling than actually playing was.
Nice, nice. So this season, in Martinsville, what's been the biggest challenge for this group of players throughout this first half of the season where they've struggled?
Yeah, it's hard to point to one specific thing. It seems like there's a number of different reasons for a number of different things, but I would say this group in particular it's really young. I picked a lot of young guys, kind of with the goal in mind of helping them develop as individuals, both on the field and off the field. And we've got several guys who haven't played much college baseball at all, and they're out there rolling out every night against guys that have played 4 or sometimes even 5 years of college baseball, and the amount of experience difference is pretty significant. And I think for some of those guys, that's been the biggest struggle. That's been the biggest struggle. Just the maturity and the way some of the guys that they compete against play compared to the lack of experience that sometimes our guys have. I think that kind of is highlighted in the play. But at the same time, I think part of my job and the reason that I'm here is to bring in guys that need to develop and to grow as athletes.
So on that same vein, what players do you feel like have made the biggest jump in development throughout this season so far, and what has helped them maybe get to those development steps to move forward in their career?
Yeah, it's hard to pick out particular guys. I would like to think that, especially the younger guys, the guys that either redshirted their first years in college, that are here to, I think of guys like Zach Derrick and Gavin Nix, guys that don't have any college baseball experience aside from redshirting, have really, really grown. Gavin Nix selected as an all-star, this is really his first opportunity in college to showcase his abilities. And obviously, since these guys have had good years as young guys, we're very proud of them, and how much maturity that they've been able to exude with such a lack of experience. And then of course, that's not to take away from some of the older veteran guys that are on the staff that have come out and done what they've needed to do to keep us in games and give us opportunities to be successful as well. So I don't know if I could just point to one specific guy.
Right.
I feel like I'm not doing my job if the majority of the guys haven't gotten at least a little bit better in some capacity.
Right, and also staying on that topic, when you're deciding who's going to be out there, how do you mix in getting the players time to develop while also trying to win games and make sure you get the guys out there that give you the best chance to do that?
Yeah, sometimes it's easier said than done. But you have to remember the reason that they're out here. They do, and I do. We all want to win games, and that's important. It's important to me that we provide the community of Martinsville something to rally around and be proud of. That really does matter to me. And at the same time, maintaining the goal of getting these guys better. Again, growing and developing as athletes and as people, and trying to mix and match those things. It comes to a time where there's some guys that just aren't ready for this level of competition. This is top tier college baseball players that are out here every single night, and if they're so overmatched by what is on the field every single night, it's actually in their best interest that they don't stay a part of the program, because really it's just kind of, to put it bluntly, it's wasting people's time. And, but at the same time, if we let them go and let them go to a place where they get more opportunities and get more reps and are able to produce, that in the long run is better for everybody. I don't like getting rid of guys. In fact, I hate it. I despise it.
Right.
It's some of the most uncomfortable conversations you have to have. But you have to do it with the mindset of, this is best for everybody, whether we want to, or it's best for everybody whether we enjoy having the conversations or not. Sometimes difficult conversations have to be had.
Right. On the less difficult, more upbeat side of things, outside of the record, if someone looks at the record of this team, they might have some preconceived notions about it. But if they look past it, what are they missing if they're just looking at the record about this team?
Yeah, they're missing how many one-run games that we've lost, or 1 or 2 run games that have that we've let slip away. We've been in a lot of games that we just couldn't quite find a way to win, for this, that, or the other. The baseball is a weird game. It really is. There's so many things that can happen that can prevent you from winning the game, and sometimes just a series of unfortunate events, happen to good teams. And I'm fully convinced that this just been one of those years where we have the talent, we have the character, we have the guys that can go out there and win, and sometimes it's just a combination of bad luck, bad mojo or juju or whatever however you want to describe it. Sometimes things just don't click right away, and it takes time to get going. And I think that the last week or so has been evidence of that. We go and we beat a really, really good High Point team. We go and play Wilmington, who's at the top of the other division, really, really closely. We go and we're competing and playing against some of the best teams in the league now at this point, and are staying in almost every single game. I think the talent's here. I think we've got a lot of good young men that are willing to last it out, and I think I would like to think that there's a good chance that we can swing back the rest of the season.
So on that same note, what are you looking for from this team as the second half of the season gets underway and after the All-Star break, which is coming up?
Yeah, so on the energy side of things, guys need to show up and keep bringing the juice every single day. You can't let the dog days of July get to you, where you show up and it's just like you're out of gas every single day. It's easy to do given the fact that it's 100+ on the turf whenever we're getting ready to play, and that part of it alone is tough. So having guys come out ready to compete every single day is going to be, I think, the biggest component. But on the playing portion of it, the baseball side of it, the at bats need to stay consistently competitive. We track quality at bats. The quality at bat percentage has continuously ticked up over the last 2 weeks at a pretty significant rate, actually. The defense has improved. The pitching, the bullpen's improved. Just the things that we've been lacking have slowly, or in some cases significantly, improved over the last couple of weeks. And that, to me, is the silver lining, and is also, it actually excites me because there's a lot of ball left to be played.
Yeah, still, I think 21 games left for the Mustangs. And in the previous 27 games, you have had a few heated discussions with umpires throughout the season. You've only been ejected once, I believe. So in those situations where you really disagree or you're really heated about it, how are you staying calm in those moments to stay in the game and, keep your composure, even when you don't agree with anything that's going on at that moment,
Yeah, this is actually, it's a little more complex than I guess the layman's would expect. There's a lot that kind of goes into how you approach umpires and how you handle those situations. And the one time that I did get ejected, I thought there was a missed call, and it turns out it just happened to be the walk-off run. If it had rolled out to where the play had been called exactly how I thought it should have been called, then the game would have been over and the Mustangs won. We eventually lost the game. So that was one of those kind of one-off situations where I genuinely thought that, the guys needed to know that we should have or could have won that game. That's a big part of it for me is there's kind of two sides of it. One side is genuinely understanding why a certain call was made, and then the other side of it being I may take offense to a call or, not agree with the call and make a bigger deal about it than it truly is so that my players know that I have their backs and that they know that I care about their success, because sometimes that's all that it really is.
Right.
If they see their manager have their back over certain calls, then I know that I would appreciate that, and I think they do too.
Right, that makes sense. And then one last question, lighthearted one. What's your favorite thing about coaching baseball in Martinsville?
Man, I don't know where to begin with that one. Having a community backing like the Martinsville Mustangs has is just, it's so refreshing every single day to show up and see fans that truly want us to be successful and care about our success and care about the growth and development of these young athletes that travel from literally all over the country to come out here and play. It's incredible. It's really refreshing, like I said, and inspiring, really. It's inspiring to know that these people are selfless enough to invest in these young men.
Well, thank you for your time, Coach. Good luck tonight, and go Mustangs.